Welcome everyone to today's readings. Today is Sunday, and so we are asking for an immediate message, and we are also going to ask about guidance and information that you need for the next 7 days. This is your weekly check-in with Spirit, with your guides, with your Spirit team, and I always ask every single Sunday for a message for you, and we look at the week ahead. Now, welcome back. If you are already a Moon Magic Super Soul and you're returning, it is amazing to be connected with you all. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome if you're new. Beautiful souls, as we navigate these readings, if you want to make sure you can check in every week, that you get notification as soon as I upload any videos, any readings, then do subscribe and press the little bell icon. All these things really do help the channel. Anyway, beautiful souls, here we are. Sunday, if you're watching it on Sunday or whenever you are watching it, if you have been guided to these readings, there will almost certainly be a message here for you. So let me show you the cards, the runes, the charms for each pile. I'm going to then leave the video running for a few moments for anyone that needs a little bit longer just to sit with your intuition. And then I'm going to ask the universe to choose a pile or piles, and I will put that in a separate timestamp along with the timestamps for the actual readings. I always do this in the description box and in a comment, and I will also list all the cards and the charms and the runes that I'm using today. So if there's anything that's really singing to you, you'll be able to go and find it for yourselves. So let me show you the piles for now. So for pile 1, you have a Tira. This is your card. A Tira, and a Tira is sitting with a beautifully, very large Venus star with a fairy sitting in it. Isn't that gorgeous? And also, very different energy actually. To the star, to the Venus star, you have the Tewaz rune. This is the rune of the spiritual warrior. I'm like super intrigued already by this reading, just by the combination. I always find there's so much in the way of messages that just come through from a charm, a rune, and a card alone. It's mind-blowing. Okay, so I am super excited to be doing these today. For pile 2, we have Kali. This is for pile 2. And Kali is sitting with the rune of Gibo. Now, Gibo is a rune of partnership. It's also a rune of a gift. And we have a beautiful little bee. This is the bee charm sitting here. Okay, really interesting combination. Super duper excited. Okay, then for pile 3, you have the card of Vesta. This is pile 3, and Vesta is sitting with, we have this lovely charm of the yin-yang symbol. Really beautiful little charm. And this is also sitting with Sewello. Sewello is kind of a rune of, I guess the best way of describing it is wholeness. It sometimes indicates a path you must follow. But we'll talk more about this in the actual readings. But that's what we have for pile 3. So beautiful souls, this is the time in the readings to truly just sit with your intuition, just trust what you're feeling. If there's anything here that is really leaping out at you, it may well be that that pile is speaking to you, or piles. I'll leave the video running for a few moments. If you need even longer, just press the pause button, and then I'll ask the universe, and then I'll see you in the readings. Welcome everyone to the part of the video where we ask the universe to reveal a pile or piles for you. Now, this is the homepage of my website. There's a lot happening. We're building a new website at the moment. There's loads going on. We're going to be giving you accurate moon times and all, wherever you are in the world, all kinds of exciting things. But anyway, I will not waffle on about that right now. Today, we are just asking the universe to reveal a pile or piles. And the piles today are 2 and 3. Beautiful souls, loads of love. I will see you in the readings in just a moment. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. You have the beautiful goddess Atira. She is a goddess of fertility. She's a Native American goddess. The card says, with every step I take, I am connected to earth energy. I feel like the timing is right for you to take an action, or for you to make a very clear, decisive choice. Tewaz is very clear-cut energy. The spiritual warrior energy, making a decision. Because it is about abundance and earth energy, it might be that you are making a decision to be very anchored, or that you need to be anchored. Maybe you're making a decision that is, you need to make a decision or a choice that will anchor you. It will give you like a clear direction. If you have more than one choice going on, or the world has been a bit topsy-turvy, which at the moment it kind of is, I wonder if actually the messages that are coming through are already talking about just getting clear and maybe even sticking to a course of action, or just making a decision to remain grounded, whatever is going on. Centered in love, centered in earth energy, but really, really I do feel some action is needed on your part. Let's see what else we have here. You have the frog, which is interesting because it's a card. Look at the rain coming here. Frog energy, especially in Native American traditions, and Atira is a Native American goddess. She's an earth goddess. And the rain, obviously for crops to grow, we have to plant our seeds, but then we need rain. I feel like maybe you need to sow a seed in order to, like you have to take an action in order for, it's almost for the universe to then be able to nurture that seed. Or I wonder if the conditions are going to be right for you at the moment to take an action. I think most of you will probably know what this is. You have the card of, now these are the Queen cards, the Queen of Unfelt Emotions. Okay, unfelt emotions, and she's wearing a mask. Right. Right. Okay. You also have changing winds, adaptable, self-awareness, decisions. Right, I think we're going to take another from this deck as well. Okay, you've got 2 more that have flown out for you. You have Guardian. Of the card of Guardian, you have the guidance, support and nurturing, and then you have Illuminate. Honesty, transparency, and she's wearing a mask. Divine order. Guidance, support, nurturing, something. I'm going to draw your tarot cards before I say any more, but I do feel that what is coming through initially is that there is a need to make to make a decision, but it's like a heartfelt decision. It's doing so. It's like remove any masks that you felt you had to wear. This is making a really big, it's like a transparent, very honest, out in the open decision where you probably state quite clearly what you're doing and why you're doing it. I think as well that you then receive the support maybe that you need to bring this forth. Look at the forest growing out of this beautiful horse. And we have another horse here. And then a white fox. Foxes are adaptable. But this one is white. It's lit up. It's illuminated. We've got adaptability. There's something about making a very clear choice and being really open and transparent and honest about it. I think it enables something to grow, it's like sowing a seed, and somehow if you're not able to be really transparent and open about it, then the seed will never grow. There's something here about the way in which you do it. It's not just about making a clear-cut choice to make a decision. It's making a decision in a particular way with openness, taking an action with openness. Let's see what else your tarot cards are saying today, my lovely pile one. Okay, flying out. Temperance. Now this is a card, how fascinating. It's a card of balance, but just look at the Sagittarian sign above here. And it just is really reminding me of Tewaz, of the spiritual warrior. And of course, Sagittarian energy is very transparent, it's very honest, it's very above board. I think there is a decision to make and an action to take, and the guidance that's coming through for you today is really advising you to move this forwards with real transparency. Yeah, and we have the card of the strength coming through, and the Queen of Cups. Okay, and look at the way she is mirrored here with the Queen of Cups. Very interesting kind of energy here. And even we have the snake with two heads. Something here needs, for something to grow or to move forwards appropriately, I think it must be dealt with in a really honest, transparent way. You have the Ace of Swords. We have this one and this one. My pile one. You have the King of Cups. You've got a king and a queen. And then you have the Empress, which is yet another card of abundance, of harvest, which is what Atira is all about. Abundance, harvest. This is actually, I think this is about being really open and honest about something. And if you are open and honest, and because we have the Queen of Unfelt Emotions, for some of you, this is actually about being completely open and honest with yourself about the way that you feel about something, and then taking action accordingly. Because we have a King and a Queen of Cups, if for some of you there is a connection or a relationship around you, it would be time to reveal your feelings, admit your feelings to yourself, and maybe even to the other person. That most definitely could be around. But whatever the outcome, I think I don't think you can lose, because if you're speaking really openly and really honestly with absolute transparency, I don't think that you can go wrong here. You're on solid ground. Whatever you do, you're on fertile ground, simply by being honest. So whether this is a situation which is feeling, I don't know, there's certainly something that's changing. There's certainly something that is, it's either it is changing or you know it needs to change. And this is really about acknowledging how you feel and taking an action that is open and transparent, and really voicing how you feel and taking actions accordingly. But we are at, what we see here is two beautiful cards of harvest. We've got the Venus star of love, the beautiful fairy, sitting in the Venus star. I feel like as long as you are really heartfelt and open and honest about how you feel, whatever the outcome is that you are desiring, whatever the change that you're desiring, I think it's going to be really fruitful. And there's so much fertility here. Let's check in on the week ahead and see what else we're shown. Maybe kindly ask about the week ahead. Okay, so you have, you've got the Eight of Wands, you've got the Four of Pentacles. Let's just line these up for you first. Okay. The Eight of Wands is ever so fast moving as a card. And then you have the Four of Pentacles, which is much more stable energy. You then have the Four of Wands, okay, which is a card of celebration. Okay, I am inclined to feel this one here on the base is coming through. You've then got the Five of Pentacles, and then the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. I feel as though this week, I suspect something might actually shift and changing winds. I think there may be a shift this week that causes you to have to acknowledge your feelings one way or the other. And even though in a way you might have been fearful of, I don't know, there's something about the vulnerability around the Five of Pentacles. I think you might feel a bit fearful of exposing yourself. For some of you, almost for fear of what if it goes wrong? What if there's a rejection kind of thing? But you've got the Knight of Pentacles. This is another card that symbolizes harvest. My dearest pile one, I think something may come to a head this week, but I do think that you will, back to this, you're on very solid ground by just being completely open and authentic with yourself and potentially with others. And I think something will change this week that will push you to sort of have to say something. And I think you'll be quite relieved, even though you feel very vulnerable in exposing how you feel. I think there's a definite feeling, quite vulnerable about exposing those core inner feelings. But I'm seeing such a fruitful outcome. Every which way we look in your reading, it's like there's an outcome of promise. This is really giving you a bit of a nudge, I think, to actually be honest, say how it is to yourself, to others. That's what's coming through for your reading this week. Super Souls, keep me posted in the comments. This feels really quite exciting. I'm being a bit tingly. I get how it's very nerve-wracking, isn't it, to really acknowledge how you feel about something, and even more nerve-wracking to voice it. But my goodness me, the outcome can be really fantastic. And I think this really could be a really, really, really fantastic outcome. Everything here is pointing to fertility and harvest. So I personally would be going for it. That seems to be what's being said here. It's entirely up to you. No reading ever tells us what to do, but that seems to be, I think if I were in your shoes, I would be kind of like really biting the bullet and saying, do you know what, the seeds that I sow right now are going to come to fruition, but I've got to sow them. I've got to go for it. And that's the kind of energy that's around your reading. Pile one, loads and loads of love. Thank you so much for being here. And for all of you who come and watch these readings every week, thank you so much. It's a real privilege to be connected with all of you. Beautiful souls, loads and loads and loads of love. Don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon if you want to make sure you never ever miss a reading. Pile 2, welcome to your reading. You have Kali. Embrace the light and the dark. Together they make me whole. And you have a worker bee, a beautiful bee, a honeybee, and also Gibo, the rune of partnership. I do wonder with Kali, because Kali's energy is very often quite misunderstood. It's often deemed as being quite a negative. Let me just bring something into focus here, see if that card is focusing properly. I may need to draw some more cards to get this to work. But I do feel there is something here about fearing something that doesn't need to be feared. Now, it could be some aspect of a relationship can be worked through, whereas you might be fearing that it could be breaking down, or you might be seeing somebody only in one light when maybe there is a different facet or a different side to them or to the situation. You have the nightingale. Nightingales bring and sing the sweetest of songs. Wow. And look at the way this nightingale, the very essence, the very vibration of the song is lighting up the dark. I wonder if something is needing to be seen differently. You have the Queen of Internal Fulfillment. Wow. Okay. Okay. The Queen of Internal Fulfillment. Look at the third eye here. I feel like something maybe does need to be lit up or seen, either differently or understood differently. Let's get more information before I say too much. You have Rise. This energy is reliable, trustworthy, and speaks about making a commitment. And you also have Observe, enlightenment, flow, and growth. Okay. How interesting. In both of these, we have a stag. I think maybe that you can take a lead in something. Like either your vibration can be raised, your perception of something can be raised, or you rise and you enable others to be seen. I don't know, some of you may even be followed because of your vibration. You might even lead people, be leading someone or helping someone at a time of darkness. Your own enlightenment can be shared. I think you are reliable, trustworthy. And I wonder if there is somebody around you or a situation around you that is feeling quite shadowy, quite dark. Maybe they're just going through a difficult time. I think you can raise the vibration of something here. That's what seems to be coming through. That you can be of assistance. If you are experiencing something of a shadow, it may be that somebody else is coming in to help you to work through this, to rise, to move through and beyond something. I'm seeing this one too, and then we'll look at your tarot cards. You have the Knight of Cups. You have the King of Swords. You have the Five of Swords. Look at the bee. It's almost identical, and it's being plucked away from the Five of Swords. You have the Star. You've got another kind of like moth, very, very bee-like moth coming through in the Eight of Pentacles, which is also about working through something. So you've got two kings. You've got the King of Swords and the King of Wands. And you have the card of Temperance. The message for you is that something around you or someone around you, it could be you, it could be somebody else, something is not as dark as it seems. Something is not as difficult as it seems. So if you had something on your mind or someone on your mind or a situation on your mind as you were entering this reading, particularly with the Gibo, the rune of partnership, the reading is here to reassure you that this is not as bad as it looks, I feel, which I think is a lovely message. This is not as difficult as it looks. And either you are someone who is able to kind of like hold the positivity in this moment for someone else, or it may be that somebody is coming in to hold the positivity for you, But I feel the message is absolutely super clear that there is a circumstance that is not as challenging as you think it might be. And if you, in many ways, within it, there is an opportunity here, even if it's feeling like be one of those scenarios where when something happens and somebody could even have felt forced into having to make a decision that they didn't want to make. You could be feeling like something has happened that you wouldn't have chosen to do, but it's actually guiding you. This is divinely guided and it's leading you in a particular direction. So I think it's happened. So the shadowy energy, that sense of, Kali's very, got quite a Pluto-y kind of energy, very sort of like, death and rebirth. We navigate into the darkness and we rise again. I suspect that the situation either around you or around someone who is around you that you're in touch with, I suspect it's going to shift and change relatively quickly, actually. But let's draw cards and ask about the week ahead. Your message is very, very clear. This can be worked through, it can be addressed. It's not as difficult or as dark as you think it will be. May we kindly ask about the week ahead for my pile twos. You have the card of the Hermit. Okay. Then you have the Maiden of Cups. This is the Page of Cups. Look at the way she looks through one eye. See this? You then have the Ten of Swords. You have the Magician. And then you have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. I rather feel as though an unexpected, I think something unexpected is going to come from this. I don't think it's planned. I do think this week you'll see an end to the situation that feels shadowy or difficult. I think it will really shift, almost in a very magical way. Very sort of alchemical kind of way. I think something is going to shift and expand and move forwards. And honestly, I don't think you might have, I don't know, had a little moment or caught a glimpse of, I wonder if that could happen. But truly, honestly, I feel largely this is something that you didn't see coming. It's like there's an outcome of positivity, a rebirth that is I think quite surprising with this Wheel of Fortune. Something moves forwards, something both ends and also something moves forwards, and maybe something is exposed. Something had to be. It's almost as though there was something that was needing to be seen, and if this situation hadn't sort of, I don't know, dissolved into the shadows, you wouldn't really have seen it. So you needed to see it. But I really do see a really positive outcome coming here this week where, and I think you'll see some details. Maybe there's some details of something. So this is very much about observe, notice. Even if it's feeling a bit tricky, something emerges here. Either something ends, but also something shifts and turns, and in such a positive way. But I rather think you don't see it coming. It's really interesting. I mean, there's a little bit of me that wants to draw more cards and say, what is it that you don't see coming? But I also feel like maybe you're not meant to see it. Maybe this is meant to surprise you. Maybe a circumstance or someone is meant to surprise you. And you see them in a different light, but it's a super positive light. There's an opportunity for rebirth and something. So I feel there's a real positive coming here. If you have been worried about a person or a particular connection, you might really be almost proved wrong. Kali is often misunderstood, and people sort of are drawn to the energy of Kali, but also fearful of it. And yet, ultimately, this is about shifting, understanding that what we see in the shadows is empowering for us. So I feel there's something that you may even have misunderstood someone or a situation, or somebody may be feeling misunderstood, and something shifts and changes to bring to enable something to expand and to move forward. So get still and observe. Something's going to rise and move through this and sort of almost like come back into balance, I think, in a really positive way. I think this looks to be a very, like, quite a turning point here, because we can all collapse a bit, I think, into, the worrying about something or wondering, and you may, as I said, for some of you, you may be around someone who's worrying. I think that, oh, excuse me, isn't that interesting? I've just had this huge yawn, and it's like, that's so not me. And I mean, when I do my readings, I'm generally feeling really quite buzzy in them. But I sometimes it reminds me of when I used to sit with my, in my counselling work, and sometimes when somebody was really releasing something, they used to yawn a lot. It's almost like the physical body is releasing the anxiety, letting go of the worries, letting go of the fears. And I feel that that's what we're seeing here. I think you're going to be able to let go of some anxieties and some concerns, and whether this is a situation that's immediately in your world or it's about somebody else who you have a connection with, I think you'll be able to let go of those fears and worries, because something becomes very visible, and that's really helpful for you to have that visibility, that transparency. At the moment, I feel like you're slightly second guessing kind of where this is, actually. I think you're going to be very, very happy with the outcome of this. And it looks as if it shifts this week. Wow, this is your reading pile too. Thank you so much for joining me today, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new, welcome. Do consider subscribing. Press the little bell icon as well if you want to make sure you never miss a reading. And if you are returning, and thank you so much. It's so amazing to be connected with you and walking with you on your journey at this time, because we are in a time of profound and magnificent transformation. Beautiful souls, loads and loads and loads of love. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. You have the card of Vesta. The card says, I let the generosity of my spirit warm those I meet. Vesta is about making family, bringing people together, the hearth, the home. Yin and yang symbols, there's a balance here of both the masculine, the divine masculine, and the divine feminine, of receptivity and action. And then we have Suelo, which often indicates your own pathway, your own pathway to wholeness. But I am wondering, I feel as though either this is a message about your own healing, or it could also be a message about creating an environment where others can heal and other people can come together. I'm not sure. I will need to find out more before I can really find out what the message is that you need to know right now, along with the guidance for the week ahead. You have the fox energy. Foxes are very adaptable. They're very clever. They're very canny. They're very versatile. They're very wise. What's going on here? And then you have the Queen of Adventure. Ooh. The Queen of Adventure. I wonder, is there a new opportunity for you that will lead to, maybe even for some of you, like meeting your soul family? I feel this is showing, and what else? And this one. What is this about? You have forgive. Okay. Forgiveness, compassion, healing. And then you have another fox, opportunity, manifesting, discernment, discipline. This is very interesting. My pile threes. I do feel there is a circumstance around you that is connected to sort of moving on from something. It's like forgiving. You don't have to forget. We don't. If we forget, then we've lost the learning. So we don't need to forget things. But if we forgive, we can move on and not be tangled in the past. If we don't feel forgiveness, we're very often still, a part of us is still tied to something, and that's unhelpful, because actually if somebody treated you badly, the chances are they're not going over and over and over it. You know, if somebody didn't behave well, the chances are they're not going to have a conscience and worry about you now, kind of thing. It's like, I'm not trying to be mega negative, but people, you know, if somebody doesn't really, if they are somebody who treats people not well at all, they don't go around worrying about it. But the person, very often the people who've been treated badly do. They go over and over and over it. Like, why? Why did that happen? What did I do wrong? Could I have done it differently? And actually, I think this is about forgive and forget and move on. It really is. It's time to move on and seize new opportunities. For some of you, this is about setting forth to find a family that you resonate with, literally your soul family, rather than, rather than people that you come into contact with because... rather than people you come into contact with because that's life, or like the family you're born to. And I'm not suggesting you should walk away from, all sorts of people. But I feel there's something here about choosing not to remain entangled with something that doesn't resonate with you, and make a very clear choice to release those cords and move forwards. You are adaptable, you can change, you can handle changes, and you can find and create, your own hearth, your own home. It's interesting, Vesta actually was able to sort of bring people round. Even though the gods ignored her, she just lit this beautiful fire, and gradually, one by one, they overcame their differences, and they kind of came home to one another somehow. And I feel this is about you setting forth on a new adventure. So it looks as if there is an opportunity around you. But maybe to really embrace it, you've got to let go of something. Now you have the Three of Swords, which is a card ultimately of healing. It's not an easy energy because it suggests there's been some hurt or some heartbreak, but it also it indicates a time when we can see, we know that's happened, and we don't have to wear that coat anymore. It's time to move on. It's time to heal. So I think there is a healing here indicated, and whether that healing is specifically for you and you set forth on a new adventure completely, or whether it's a healing where you kind of get over it, forgive, and start a new chapter with someone. Do look at this, however this happens, it's loaded with fertility. You have the beautiful, beautiful energy of the Empress with Venus sitting here. You have the star energy, which is about love and hope and optimism. You also have the Emperor. Now, because we have, and the Knight of Wands, because we have the Empress and the Emperor, if there is a specific relationship for you, it could be parental, could have some parental connections, family connections in that way, or indeed it could be a personal relationship. But I do feel, we've got the divine masculine and the divine feminine. I do feel this isn't a message that says something can come back into balance. You can adapt, you can change, you can learn, you can grow. And even though something I think has been feeling really not okay, it is absolutely very possible for you to now to set forth on it's like having a clean slate and a fresh page. And it doesn't mean we forget. but it does mean we are no longer entangled in the challenges that took place. And that, I think, is your message really here. You have the Four of Cups. Look at that. 2 facing upwards, 2 facing downwards. Sometimes I feel with the Four of Cups, there is an energy of really asking us, because it's quite static, of asking us not to remain stuck, to kind of let things, to let something flow again. And then you have the Eight of Cups, where we choose to walk away. Even if something broke, we choose. I think that this is really putting something behind you, and this is your message. Actually, your primary message is all about putting something behind you, not remaining entangled in it. And this is really, really, really very clear. This, whatever this circumstance is, whatever the connection. My interest is are you actually physically walking away, or are you sort of starting a fresh chapter? For some of you, it looks like you are choosing to genuinely walk away, set forth on an entirely new adventure, put something behind you. Let's get a bit more information and ask about that. Is this largely a walking away, or is it a fresh start within a new connection, or within a fresh start within an existing connection rather? Can we ask, is this a walking away? You have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is card where you choose not to let other people affect you anymore, actually. You've got the Seven of Swords, gosh, 2 sevens, and then the Knight of Cups. The Seven of Swords does, do you know, if you have been tangled in anybody else's drama, anyone else's underhandedness, anybody else's envy of you, it's time to look ahead and not remain attached to... I want to say that their feelings are their problem. You know, their issues are theirs to deal with. And this is about choosing to detach yourself and disconnect yourself from something that does not belong to you. And whether that is somebody that's in your world, your home, your family, and you are remaining in a relationship with them, but choosing to disconnect from the essence of how that has currently been structured, or indeed this is a connection and you are genuinely walking away. The point is that the message here is actually about severing ties and no longer being entangled with them, whether you remain in contact or you walk away completely. The message is very, very clear. However they have behaved, it's time to free yourself. May we ask, therefore, about the coming week. How does this unfold in the coming week? You have the Maiden of Pentacles. Now, this is the Page of Pentacles in a traditional deck. So this is just so beautiful. Look at that baby bear. You can sow seeds. This is definitely a week to look ahead. You have the Justice card. Bring things back into balance here with Libra energy coming in. You have the Five of Pentacles, even if you're feeling a bit bruised. You've got the High Priestess. Just going to see what comes through for us. And then I will talk about the meaning of this, the King of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. Okay. I do think that you are dealing with someone, or it could even be a group of people connected to family, but largely I think you are dealing with someone. I think they're actually quite stubborn, if I'm honest. I think you've been dealing with someone who's a bit set in their ways, possibly a bit two-faced, a bit unaware of the fact that their actions bruise people. They could be quite an abrasive kind of person. I don't think they see a lot of... I think their perception of things tends to be from their lens. I think they don't see... They tend to see in a very blinkered way. I'm not trying to be judgy about it, but I do, I think they are just quite self-orientated. and, you know, in a way there'll be reasons why they are that way. So, you know, we don't have to be judgy. But I do think that they are a bit self-orientated. I don't think they see or really recognize that there is an impact of their actions that is negative on people, because they're very tangled in their own world and in their own ways. And I think sometimes they are hurtful without, and it's not that they necessarily are aware of I don't think they are aware of the degree to which they hurt, and so, or cause damage. There just isn't that level of awareness, whereas I feel that you are very aware. And so this is about using your awareness to choose to make balanced choices that support your well-being and invest in the directions that you want to bring forth to abundance, and kind of take the lead in, literally, this is about you choosing to invest in yourself, choosing to invest in people that resonate with you, and choosing not to engage. Indeed, for some of you to literally completely disengage and walk away from a connection or some connections that are not really are a bit they're just a tangle. They're a tangle of, I almost want to say of dishonesty, but, you know, they're kidding themselves as well. It's not, it sort of feels rather sad, it feels more sad than malicious. Just heartbreaking that somebody thinks that that's an okay way to be, or just doesn't have any awareness of the consequences beyond themselves. But I think you are dealing with someone like this. Or group of people. And this, your reading is all about empowering you. And I think this week, this is about really making quite clear decisions to bring your world back into balance, and to really take charge of what is right for you, to invest in what is right for you. I just feel this is somebody who, this has not been a healthy connection. I think you've done your best to adapt around them, but this is about really drawing some lines around them. And if they are somebody that you're going to maintain a connection with because it's part of your family or something like that, then that's fine. But you can still really draw some clear boundaries around what you will do and what you won't do, and also choose to really prioritize yourself and invest in yourself. Whereas if you are walking away, again, you're just prioritizing your own well-being by saying, do you know what, I'm not going to linger on this. I'm walking away and I'm not keeping this in my mind. I'm not going to go over and over it. I'll be quite clear-cut about this, and, you know, send them good wishes, but kind of walk away at the same time. It feels as though this is very, very clear, and that a choice does present itself, or that you reach a point where you make that decision this week. But I do think for some of you it is like a kind of a walking away, actually. Wow. Pile 3, this feels like a very healthy choice, actually. It really, really does. As somebody, I can genuinely speak from the heart. In my own world, I have on numerous occasions stayed too long in situations or remained in contact with people for longer than I ought to have done, even though we really didn't have a good resonance. And I am now, I try now to be really discerning, and I'm not confrontational if I choose to walk away, but I really, really do try to be very, very discerning, because I recognize the need to keep my own energy in balance. I'm no good to anybody if I don't. And so there's something about this. I feel this kind of area of decision making for you this week, and I think it is a really important choice for your own well-being. Pile 3, this is your reading. Beautiful souls, thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you all the love in the world, and don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon if you want to make sure you never, ever, ever miss a reading. Loads of love.